Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at two things. Number one, we're going to look at this is the second thing. We're going to look at Pentester SQL Injection. It's a vulnerability in, let me say, not so many websites, but so many websites have SQL injection. There are not so many, but there are many. It depends with the kind of info you have. So we're going to look at this machine which I've already installed and it's running in the background. So if you've watched my previous videos, the first thing we do when we have a machine or we have found our target, we do nmap. So in this one, it's not that complex. So we're just going to, we want everything minus p, switch p. And then I have the IP address, which is 192.168.0.5. So for this, we just want to start over with just scanning the whole machine. But before it finishes, we're starting with our educational videos. For now, I want us to do information gathering. So that is reconnaissance. There is active and passive. And let me open my browser first. So I think we are done with this. So in information gathering, there are two perspectives you can look at. There's the physical perspective. The physical perspective is the kind of data gathering. You go, you check the building, you use drones to go to hover around a place, you look at the place, use satellites. It's all about recon, how the building layout is. What else? The security, the employees. You check the frequent employees that you can try to social engineer. That is basically just interacting with them to gain something from them, some information. You check mostly the pictures, the images, the badges, So that is all the physical assessment. And then there is the non-physical assessment. This one whereby you just use Google or you just use the information from their website. Okay. Now in this information gathering, number one, you need to find a target. For today, we are going to use what is this? OWASP Juice, I guess. This one. Today, we are going to use this site. It's just a vulnerable website that people can use. So there are different areas I go to when I'm targeting a website or a company. Number one, the first thing I do, I gather all the emails that I can have. And there's a really good website called hunter.io. I hope it's like that. Oh, nice. So there's a good website called hunter.io. So its primary purpose is just to give people authentic emails. It gathers authentic emails from people's website, etc. and all that. So, but first you need to sign up. So let me see if we can actually do without signing up. Let me select this. You just copy paste this. Copy, we come here to the emails, and then you just paste. So no result for this. So immediately when you just type and place it on the website, it automatically gives you authentic emails. I don't want to use any company so that we can be sued. It will give you authentic emails. Gives you, and then it will give you more common patterns with the email addresses. So the main purpose is to find the pattern. I mean how it looks like, the syntax. It can be Samuel.Silowski at let me say Sky Family IT Consultancy, or it can be the first name and then the domain. You get? Or it can be the second name and then the domain. So it will give you a really good syntax. Secondly, we can go to another called WeClick info. I can't remember .com. I think .com was banned. Oh, it was good. So we can use io.io. No, it's TO. So generally, this site gives you breach accounts. It actually looks for history patterns of repeat. Okay, sorry. What it does is this. it gives you breached accounts. So if your target was one time ever breached, you can find the info here. So for instance, let's still try, we see what we can actually have. So we just search. So I must be logged. I can't remember my username and password, so I don't want to give any. So when you just search, it will run from the database. After running, it's going to display you. It's going to display the hashes, IP address. You can search even for passwords. The number of things you can search for here. So you can search the email, username, email by password, username by password. For this one is better, they're still trying it. Domain. So a domain is what we wanted to enter here. Email by hash. Oh, sorry, we can actually type an email, not a domain name. So let me see, let me try mine. Samuel.silowski at gmail.com. So if I search it here by email, you must be logged on. Oh man, let me see if I can remember my username. Valid. I can't remember my login credentials. Just a second, let me see. Nice. Let me write it down. So if I'm looking for my email, email. So what it will do is going to, oh no, and so lucky for me, I'm good. So where is this? Is the support, pricing, redeeming plan. So here's what it does. Great features to work with. Fast, fetches up to 10,000 results per page in a fraction of a millisecond. Wildcard, extensive data breaches. This is the main. So if your target has ever been leaked, and you can actually get access to the password hashes, not necessarily the password but the hashes, you can be able to crack it using a tool like John the Ripper. There's so many tools that you can use. So this is the second place I go to just for data collection. And then there's something called email gathering, which I think we talked about a few videos ago. But with this, let me just copy this first. With this, we have a tool that comes pre-installed with curl. It's called the harvester, and then tab. So the syntax is just simple, like D for domain. We are going to look for the emails through let me say domain. So the domain we are looking at is that, and then we're like, how many searches do we want? So we switch and then we are like, we just want like 500, and then we are going to use which B for that represents search engine. So we are going to use Google, and then finally we are like, command is depreciated, please use the harvester instead. Oh, so we change this. I actually forgot. So automatically it's going to run, check through Google, and then actually display all the email addresses. So my argument was wrong. Domain limit, so the limit is there. So but generally you get the idea. So the next is we use a tool called for hunting subdomains. You know, when you're targeting a website, most websites have hidden subdomain. Subdomain is like okay, let me give you an example. So if you are looking to target this, let me paste this. If you're looking to target this, so from here, now this one we can call a subdomain. This one we can call it a subdomain, and the main domain can be herokuapp.co.com. Now you see, the extension is what makes it a subdomain. I think that's how I understood the whole thing. I hope it makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So there's a tool also for that called the Sublister, I think, like that. Sublister. It does the same. It generally does the same. But the best that I love using, it's through the net. It's called crt.sh. So its purpose is just to search for info, subdomains. So how do we search? Simple. We just write what is this? A module. We just use a module. Modulus. If you can remember mathematics, so it's just using a modulus, and then we write the domain. So the domain is something like that. And then we just search. Unsupported use of the modulus. Oh, sorry. So there's a full stop here because we are looking for the subdomains. And then search. And then you wait. So this is how I do my data collection. Mostly I utilize Google so much. Google and Bing. Like a few weeks ago, there was a data breach for Zoom. And all the passwords, all the meetings, the recordings have been placed in dark web, so anyone can access it easily. Nice. So here are all the subdomains. You can check one by one, but the best thing, you can just copy them and write them somewhere else. So you see there is renamed.heroku, blah 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 blah. So that's how I do my data collection. There's a tool called a mass also, a mass project. You can check it out on your own. There's a mass project, and then there is a Tomcat HTTP probe. What else? Secondly, in my data collection, there's a tool called the Wapilizer. I hope my spelling is okay. Nice. Wapilizer browser extension. So let's use this. So the main purpose of Wapilizer is just to tell you the technologies behind a website. So when you're running it, it just tells you the technology behind the website. So let's run this. Add extension. I'm using Chromium. I'm not using Chrome. But I'm thinking it's supposed to accept it as fast as it can. Yeah, nice. So let me go to Shodan. Let's open this website. So Shodan is it's like Google but for Internet of Things. So if when you click the Wapilizer, it's supposed to tell you the technologies behind our websites. Like for instance, Shodan, the font script that's called Font Awesome, JavaScript libraries, jQuery, UI frames, Bootstrap. We can go to YouTube. So the main purpose is to tell you the technologies behind our website, so that you can be able to find vulnerabilities and such. Here we go. When you click it, no technology detected, sorry. Just a second. Nice. So here you go. So the font is Google Font API, JavaScript libraries, Hammer.js. The best thing, it also gives you the version, so you can be able to find a vulnerability one way or another. But all this is just for educational purposes. Don't even try to do something. So the next, I think we are done with that. Then we are going to continue later on with data information. So remember these sites. There is hunter.io. You can sign up. Most of them actually will actually ask you to buy for premium and all that. They are worth it. If you're really you want to do bug bounty, you're doing penetration testing as a whole, as a real career, as a career, I would advise you to buy it every year. I can't remember the amount. So there is also wilikinfo.io. The .com has been, you saw. So crt.sh, and then finally we have Wapilizer, which I think it's my favorite tool in bug bounty. I haven't even started bug bounty, but a friend of mine who we work with is on it. So let's go back to our CTF walkthrough. So here you go. Nice, the machine is running. The nmap is done. Just a second, let me clear this. So generally, if you remember what we talked about, nmap is just it's just a network mapper. So what we were using was a switch A, which means we are searching for everything. Switch P, switch represents I'm scanning every port. So let's start reading. So starting nmap, blah blah blah, host is up, not showing, port SSH. So we have SSH, which we can try to log in. We see if we can actually have a banner. So what I'm doing is enumerating. We're like SSH 192. No, let's use -v for verbose. Verbose, it will display the banner if it wasn't configured well. 192.168.0.5. Enter. No, let's look for anything juicy. The configuration. So that's the location. That's not port 22 connection established. So yes, let's click yes. Password, we don't have a password. Let's try root. I'm guessing it's going to give us fail. Let's try admin. Fail. So it's okay. Clear. So there's nothing good for us there. So and then we have port 80, HTTP Apache. And remember, I told you guys, when you're doing your nmap, memorize the ports. Know the ports that you're looking for automatically in your head. Let them be part of your fingerprints. They're more like they're like 7 that I really look out for. There is the FTP, that is port 21. So this is the file transfer protocol, allows login to servers to add and remove a file. That is FTP. And then we have SSH, that is port 22. So the first one that we enumerated was this, port 22. But the best thing is that we know the version, open 5.5, Debian, blah blah blah. And then we have SSH. We've actually checked that. Now Telnet is the lower version of SSH. Telnet is the ability just to log into a machine remotely in clear text. With SSH is encrypted. And then we have SMTP, which deals with emails, which is port 25. There is HTTP, which is port 80, that is not encrypted. And then there is the encrypted one, which is HTTPS. And what Facebook are using, that is hosts. So HTTPS is 443, HTTP it's 80, and then we have DNS. So DNS is just a way of resolving IP addresses to names. So the port is 53, and then we have POP3, that is around 110. The port number is 110. It deals with email. SMB is 139 plus or 445. So this is just file shares, common port. And I think all the windows that have been exploited before, the vulnerability came from SMB. So SMB is critical when you're dealing with Windows. It's the same as Eternal Blue. Eternal Blue is actually a vulnerability for SMB. And then we have finally IMAP, which is 143. So those are the main ports I check, me personally. There are things that I check first. So the first one we checked was SSH. Secondly, we're going to enumerate port 80. So this one is an HTTP, and port 80 we said this one is the unencrypted. This one is not encrypted. And then these Apache files, meaning this site has a website. So we just copy the link, copy the IP address, and we'll log in here. Oh, so my awesome photo blog. last picture, CT. Remember, I want to introduce to you to SQL vulnerability. So SQL, what is it? What is it? So it's just a security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with queries that an application makes to its database. In a simple way, I can say it's just code injection. You just use code to inject into the website in order to have information. So in another sense is code injection techniques used to attack data-driven application in which malicious SQL statements are inserted into an entry field execution. As simple as that. The code is PHP. Where's my question mark? I can't remember. I hope I find it fast. Where's my question mark? Oh, found it. So most websites with this PHP question mark ID, they are vulnerable to SQL injection. Most of them. For instance, like no, let me not go there. For instance, like this. If you find a URL mostly like this and then ends with a number, like it can be is equals 4. Remember, all these, they are vulnerable to SQL injection one way or another, but not all. Some are really prepared for that. So let's proceed. So number one, we have an awesome blogs. First thing first, we check to see we see the view source page to see if there's anything interesting for us. So blah blah blah. I think this is the image. Yeah, so it's not that interesting. No copyright. So I think we are done with that. So we have home. This is home, and then we have test. Nice. Now you see. So we have the PHP question mark ID is equals to 1. We're going to come back there. And then we have 2010. Nothing. All pictures. Hacker, Ruby. So this is just our call for action. So we have the login page. So first we just come here where we found the link. We copy this. We copy this. There's a tool called SQL map. Let me just paste this one here. SQL map. So SQL map can be used to inject. Let me say inject automatically without so much fuss. It's actually way easier. For instance, I can just SQL minus u. So u represents the URL. Our URL. Let me paste our URL here. Minus ID, and then we are looking for the database, and then batch. So this is just the shortened method, the short method. There's also another method, but this one is actually quite slow. Copy. But this one is quite slow. We can do this slowly by slowly. SQL. So we can start like this, but this one is slow compared to this. Come on, fast. So let me show you. So here we say yes. This second one, it's going to first look for the database. After the database, we are going to specify. We are going to specify again. We are going to specify that we want to go to tables. We are going to specify the tables. We are going to look through the table. Now you see, like for instance, okay, let me click yes. This is okay. So for instance, we see it's injectable with SQL injection. So what we do is this, to actually make this one go fast. We are going to batch. So something interesting is the information schema or the photo block. So we are going to use the photo. So we are going to use a photo block. We are going to select the database itself. So when you're narrating the link, the database, switch database, and then we go to the one of the database that we see interesting. For me, not the information schema, but we can check that also. But my interest is in this photo blog. photo blog, and then we are going to dump everything. So it's switch dump all. So what dump all is going to do is just going to, what is this? It's just going to print everything, everything that's meaningful to us, and then enter. So here we have, yes. Now see for this, critical, it hasn't given us anything. So let me start again. So we are looking for database DBS. It's supposed to give us the database, and then we name it. Oh, nice. So once it's done, with the data we are going to select, let's select the second one. We are going for information, sorry, DBS information schema, and then next we're going to look for tables. So we go like switch tables, I think, like that. I think it's column. I can't remember how I used to do that. So in the past, Kenya, we used to have so many vulnerabilities, SQL vulnerabilities. So I used to play around with this when I was in class 7, I guess 7 or 8. Information schema, and then there is a column, tables. Let me try tables directly. Nice. So it's on. So here are our tables. So what it did was it logged in, it injected a code in the database that we select, that is information schema, and in that database it collected the files, the tables. Now you see, and then we look for something interesting. Let's say user privileges. So we copy this, we come back here, and then tables we are using paste, and then again we start looking for the columns. I hope it will do. Nice. So in the columns we have blah blah blah, not that interesting. See, I told you, I think the interesting one is the first one. Oh, we have password here, column. So what we do next is we select the column, we say password, so we copy this. Just a second. So we copy this and place this here, password, and then I think it's a comma, and then ID, copy, paste, and then we just finally dump switch dump, I think it's just dump. Let's see. You want to use column existence check? Yes. Presenter default. So number 1 is okay, default. That's what I'm telling you. The first one was way easier. Let's wait and see. But it's taking too much time. I never thought it will take this too much time. So we come up. I've never done this actually. Today is my first day doing this. Information retrieved, fetching tables. So the tables in that what was it called, photo blog or something. And now we wait as this one continues. We can be discussing something else. What haven't we checked? Oh, nice. Let me introduce you to another tool as it completes, called the NC. So this tool is called the netcat. So the netcat generally is just I think it's okay. Just a second. I think this one is done. So hacker.png. Let it continue. So netcat is generally a networking utility for reading from, I guess for reading from, and to, for me, I use it basically for just connecting, trying to connect to another machine. I can write data, I can add data. Generally it's just that. So we're going to use netcat, I guess, instead of using Metasploit. Just a second, existence check this. Just a second. Yes. Finally. So let's use the first one. So we have the admin password, and then we have what? We have the password. So we just copy this. We copy this. We go back to our site, the admin page. We paste this one here, and then admin. So right now we are the admin. We have rights to add anything on the page, do anything we want. Secondly, as we can look at the page, we have hacker. So this one we can delete. These are the images on the website, I guess. So we can duplicate this and see duplicate. Nice. So we can view source page. So the upload see through that name. So we have it here. Control find. We are searching for the hacker part. Oh, I can't remember where it is. Sorry, I can't remember where it is. We actually saw it. So all the pictures. So we have the picture of the hacker, picture of Ruby, and picture of blah blah. So they are all here. So what I want us to do, I want us to upload a payload. What is a payload? So a payload, I can reference it like this. A payload is just a malicious code that we can send to our target to create a reverse shell. Sorry, a reverse connection. What is a reverse connection? A reverse connection is more like this. Making the client or your target connect to you instead of you connecting to the client. You see, the beauty of that is this. An antivirus or a firewall cannot block a connection from itself, but it can block a connection from outside to internal, but it cannot block a connection from the inside reaching out. So I have my my payload here. Download, sorry, home desktop intro. You can download this at Pentest Monkeys. I guess that's where I download most of my tools. Pentest Monkeys, Pentest. Here you go. No, not that one. Pentest Monkeys, Pentest Monkey, Pentest Monkeys. Oh yeah, so here they are. So they have a lot of interesting things, from cheat sheets. So for me, I just came here, tools. After tools, I just went down to PHP reverse shell. As I said, so this tool is designed for those situations during a pen test where you have to upload access to a web server that's running PHP, upload the script to somewhere in the web root, then run it by accessing the appropriate URL in your browser. So you can read all that for yourself. So here's the tool. So we go back, we go to our tool, we open it with let me say leafpad. I love leafpad. So we drop down, we change this. So here we just need to put our listening machine. We just change this. So we put my IP address is 192 dot, sorry, no screenshots, 192.0.5, I'm not wrong, 192. Just a second, I think I've edited something I'm not supposed to edit. Leave pod. So yeah, here 192.168.0.28. I think that's my IP address, but let me confirm. Yes, it's 28. So I want to clear this. 28. I think that's all. So let me write down. Our connection is 192.168.0.28, and the port is 1234. And the port is 1234. So I think we are good to go. We save this, yes, and we come to upload it now. So we just do the simple thing as come in here, add a picture. So we are choosing a file, our desktop, intro, PHP, open, and then test, add. So no PHP, so we can't upload a PHP. So what we do, let's try to rename our file. PHP, we write it in capital, PHP. We see if it will actually change anything. So there are different ways of killing a rat. So we choose the file, enter. Oh, and we haven't started listening, before anything. So we need to create a machine, what is it called? Not even a machine. We need to create we need to make our machine start listening for incoming connection. So as I said, so NC is just a computer network utility, and it has its own switches, like switch N, which means do not do any DNS or service lookup. They have switch P, that one is just specifying the ports, but for us we're going to use switch L for listening, and then verbose, just we want the output, and then port, we say the port is 1234, and then just enter, and then it will immediately start listening as we upload our file and connect our file directly. So choose, here you go, come on. So we add a file. Yeah, it's here. So let me see if the connection has started. So it's done. It's supposed to run. Just a second. So we come home, last picture, Hackle. We should see our thing running immediately. It doesn't have a name, I don't know why. Just a second, let me rewrite this. So rename, so let's rename is that as reverse. So enter. Where are you? So we add a new picture. So we select our file, you open, test, and then add. Let's see if there's a connection going through. Nice. So we have a connection and we are in. So the problem, I think, was not the naming, I don't know, it didn't actually test, it didn't open the file. So as we can read, it's listening, we are in this code, in blah blah blah, and all that we can do. Now we're in the system itself. I see. So in the system we have all this. So question is, who are we? Who am I? So we are www-data, and I guess we are done, because the main purpose was just to show you SQL injection. Next time we are going to do privilege escalation. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. And then we've decided to update our video channels. We are going to do, like, after every 2 days we have a video, after every 2 days we have a video. Not only 2 days, but it will come to a place where every single day we'll be having videos. So thank you. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much.